Toastmakers, shot takers, and puff chasers. This is your great Sir Bradley Ashton back with another installment of I Got Five on it. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and let's get on with the show. So, unless you've been under a rock for the last 24 hours, Kim Kardashian and Kanye West have finally reached divorce settlements, and it was first reported by TMZ yesterday. And what really is catching a lot of folks' attention isn't necessarily the divorce finally got settled after Kim filed for divorce a little over a year ago, back in February 21, but the amount of child support that this woman is getting from this man. So let's go ahead and share screens. Okay. So let's see here. So we have TMZ. Kim and Kanye divorce settled. Kim gets $200,000 a month in child support. So when you are a what they would consider a high earner in certain states, because I remember when I covered my story about Mel B and Eddie Murphy, because um, he had been fighting to not get his child support increased for his daughter Angel that he has with Mel B, aka Scary Spice, of the Spice Girls fame for all of my millennials and Gen Xers. But Eddie Murphy makes so much money that he can be charged an extra amount of money according to the law, right? So Eddie was paying $25,000 a month since like 2009, and then because of COVID and Mel B's inability to find work, she was asking that the courts increase Angel's child support from 25,000 to 35,000. And Eddie Murphy was fighting her tooth and nail until he just finally decided that he was going to go ahead and pay that extra $10,000 and go and get it over with. I think Angela's now probably like around like I think she's 15 now, so he probably got like 3 years left of paying the child support to Mel B. So with Kanye, with him being considered a high earner or a man with a considerate amount of money, with his net worth of $400 million, um, each child individually would get $50,000 a month, which it comes up to that $200,000 a month amount, which over a year's time will equal up to around $2.4 million, right? Which I think honestly, if we were to do our own independent research, was probably one of the most expensive child support agreements probably in American history. But let's continue, right? So it says how about I say Kim West? Kanye West and Kim Kardashian's divorce settlement calls for them to have equal access to their kids. And that appears to be exactly what's happening with Kanye picking up North from school Tuesday and taking her to a mall. As you can see, Kanye was walking outside of North school Tuesday evening with daddy and daughter leaving in the SUV together. See him being an involved father. Okay, let's go down. It says, remember, Kanye and Kim's divorce also caused for them to split expenses for their kids' education and security. And Kanye had security in tow at both North School and the mall. Kim Kardashian and Kanye West have settled the divorce, TMZ has learned. The former husband and wife have resolved both child custody and property related issues. According to the settlement, Kim and Kanye will get joint custody with equal access, quote unquote, to their four children, even though we know that when it comes to custodialship or whatever, women tend to have the kids majority of the time. It says that even Kanye acknowledges that Kim already has the kids 80% of the time, and people gonna see that. and say, oh well, if Kim is with the kids majority of the time, then that must mean that she should be awarded this money, right? Nah. And I'm gonna go ahead and explain why once I get done with the article. So it says, according to the settlement, Kanye will pay Kim $200,000 a month in child support. Our sources say Kanye is not footing the full bill for child support. That's just his share. In addition, he is responsible for 50% of the kids' educational expenses, including tuition. He's also responsible for 50% of the children's security expenses. And I don't know if they mentioned in the article, but they're also splitting down medical expenses as well for each four of their kids. And it says, now this is interesting. It says that if there's ever a dispute regarding the children, that Kim and Kanye agree that they will participate in mediation. If one of them fails to participate, the other one gets to make a decision and in a dispute by default. Um, and I think this is due to Kanye missing probably like scheduled court dates and going through different lawyers and things of that nature. And then it says for the $200,000 is due the first of each month. It's the first of the month. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, get up, get up. Yeah, it's due the first of each month and must be wired into her account. My goodness. If she's not already a wealthy woman. And it says, as for property, the division of assets is in accordance with their prenup. And according to the prenup, both Kim and Kanye waive spousal support. And it says that our sources say Kim has walked a tightrope over the last year with Kanye going out the rails and refusing to participate in resolving the divorce. As reported, he's gone through half a dozen lawyers and has blown out depositions. As one source puts it, Kim's patience was tested, but she handled things calmly, and ultimately Kanye came around. The secret weapon in settling was Disso Queen Laura Wazer, who played Henry Kissinger, going back and forth to resolve the outstanding issues. I think Henry Kissinger, he was was he a politician? I've heard that name before. I want to say he also was a part of UN for a long time. Diplomat. That type of individual. But yeah, let's keep going. It says that TMZ broke the story. Kim filed for divorce back in 2021. After 7 years of marriage, the divorce started because Kanye refused to engage. Um, Basically saying that Kanye thought that things could be worked out. That's why he refused to engage in the divorce. And Kim went to court last month to get an official decree ending the marriage with both custody and property to be resolved at a later date. The settlement came Monday on the eve. Kanye was scheduled to have his deposition taken, and the matter went to trial next month. Now, the book is closed on the marriage of Kim and Kanye. So, I shared this on my Instagram, on one of my Instagram pages, right? And a few of my followers made comments about the news or whatever, right? So I had one of my followers because she's I'm about to say a nurse. She's a lawyer herself, and she was saying, well, he still has to take care of the kids. And my whole thing was just like, well, hold on, let me give what she was saying if I could remember it. I'm paraphrasing, but one of her statements was, is it the fact that are you upset or do you feel some type of way that Kim is already a billionaire because both of them are billionaires? That's not true. Kanye lost his billionaire status according to Forbes, right? So Kanye shouldn't be considered a billionaire no more, just based off of the reports that's been, given to the general public. And then she also said, well, he still has to take care of her kids. The true essence of child support is individuals still paying their amount of money as if they were still in a, I guess you could say, a couple of sorts, right? And that the child won't necessarily go without. And then she also made the statement that I wish that we had more of a better understanding of child support because these situations, celebrities are outliers, right? And I kind of got what she said, but at the same time, with me, this is my thing with this. Kim Kardashian is a woman who's already has a net worth of $1.8 billion, right? Your ex-husband has $400 million as of right now because he also has other legal fees that he has to take care of as well that y'all can look up in your own time. My thing is, okay, split up the assets, right? Do that. Cool. I don't mind, because that was in y'all's prenups, right? To my understanding, Kanye had it written in the prenup, and this is why I say, man, prenups, they really don't work for real, like for real, for real, for real, for real. Especially if the divorcing spouse isn't willing to agree with all the conditions, because I want to say in the prenup, Kanye had some type of clause or he paid some money up front to avoid paying child support, right? Because he didn't necessarily want that being labeled to him of him having to pay child support, especially if he's trying to be involved in his children's life, right? So with me, the way I look at it or look at this situation is she is a woman who has more than enough money to take care of those kids. He has well enough money to take care of those kids. When it came to the properties and other assets that they bought while there was a marriage, I'm totally fine with them having a prenup for that. But when it comes to the kids, I think a lot of times we think, well, he still got to financially take care of his kids. Who's to say that Kanye couldn't take care of his kids without the involvement of the courts? But when you're talking about a woman who pretty much look at all of her relationships as a business, I mean, when you go back to her first marriage to that record producer and all the way to present day, pretty much all of her relationships, especially the ones that have lasted for a considerable amount of time, especially years, whether you're talking about Ray J, whether you're talking about Reggie Bush, whether you're talking about Chris Humphries, whether you're talking about Kanye West, and everybody in between, she look at those as a business. And I think for Kanye, one of the things he messed up is he was actually looking at this for love and wasn't really paying attention to whom he was getting in business with, right? Because at the end of the day, marriage is a business. And when you're trying to operate from business, as Kim did, and yet he's trying to operate from love, you're gonna always have conflict potentially there, right? Then I had another follower that said, well, you know, he should have known better. Uh Kim K, she a known hoe. This woman has been known to play black women. That was her statement, right? And I'll say this. No, no one isn't saying that Kanye is a victim in this situation in regards of whom he got involved with, right? I think that's probably one of his biggest mistakes in his life is the fact that he did wife up a woman like Kim Kardashian, who has the type of reputation that she does, especially when it comes to men and particularly her involvement with black men. And that's just something that really has followed her family for a long time of how they target not only black men, but specifically successful black men. But at the same time, I don't care if she's a hoe. I don't care if she's the Virgin Mary. $50,000 for each of their four kids that totals up to $200,000 a month is more than enough money to make sure that their kids are well taken care of. And then to make it more interesting, he still is responsible for paying half of the medical expenses, half of the educational expenses, and half of the security expenses. So he's paying more than just that $200,000. It's just on paper is looking like, oh, he's not footing the whole bill. But when you really look at it from a logical point of view, if you're ordered to wire the money to your ex-wife on the first of each month, you are in fact pretty much footing the bill. So the thing with it is, okay, yeah, you got that going on, but let's keep it real. If they were able to split all those other expenses down, child support should have never even came on the table, in my humble opinion, right? Especially when you're talking about how involved Kanye is in his children's life, right? But see, the thing that tend to happen in a lot of these situations, and again, I'm not a father, so I'm speaking on this from a third party experience. A lot of men who have shared their stories with me in regards of child support and parental alienation, Kanye has been very vocal about wanting to be involved in his children's lives and wanting to be a man that his children can say that they never went without their father, right? And he has put on the internet many different times where he has been put under some form of parental alienation, where his wife's family didn't want to necessarily give details about what they were celebrating one of his children's birthdays, and certain activities that the kids got going on that usually he would be in the loop about. You know what I'm saying? And who's to say that Kim isn't trying to basically just keep Kanye away from his children? But it's like at the end of the day, that's his kids, right? That man has the right to be around his kids, and this is one of the things where we talk about, this legal extortion that the child support system has, because they're not really concerned about the family. They're not really concerned about kids having their fathers in their lives. These folks are only concerned, honestly, about getting the money. You know what I'm saying? And the courts and the lawyers and the judges, they're all in cahoots with each other, because if we were really concerned about the well-being of the children, we would make sure that a lot of these laws are put in place to where we have a good cohesive agreement between both of the parents, if we're going to claim that we're in this egalitarian society, that we say that men and women can work out their issues together for the betterment of the family. But yet we see yet again in a situation where a woman makes more money than her husband, and he's still ordered to pay this woman a certain amount of money a month. And then with everything that he has going on, people are saying, well, Kanye West, he's a millionaire, so he can afford to pay $200,000 a month in legal fees. And that's just one of those deflective replies that people will say, so that it's just to basically make him just responsible. And it's just like, man, no man should be having to pay that large amount of money to just to say that he's taking care of his kids, right? That's $2 million a year, and that's going to add up over a while. When you're saying you got four kids, that the last child you're going to be paying for until 2037. That's when Psalms turn 18 years old. So this whole situation is interesting. I personally think it's outrageous. I think it's a bit much when you're talking about child support. But y'all let me know what you think, man. Let me know. Give me your commentary. Let's have a conversation. But until next time, eyes front, head out to the finish. See it through.